Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to number 2 of the Devlog series. So I had a lot of work done since my last video that I did for you guys, but my head feels like it's gonna explode. So I'm not well. I'm not feeling too well for this video, but I'm gonna make this anyway because why the fuck not? So I'm gonna show you what I've done since I think it's been like a week since the last video. I'll show you. And like the first thing that you may notice is that the main player has changed. It's actually changed to Siren's model because I got that done in the week since the last video. And reason being is that I think this is important for me to kind of say is that I do have depression that sucks up a lot of my energy, like most of my energy. I am tired almost all the time. And so when how I get things done is basically I get up and I go, what do I feel like doing that day? If I feel like modeling, I model. If I feel like doing 3D, like environmental stuff, I do environments. If I feel like doing characters, I do characters. So that's how I get things done. But I don't actually recommend doing it this way because it just isn't efficient. Like the best way of doing it is doing the prototype from beginning to end with all the gameplay. So I felt like doing Siren's body because I didn't feel like working on any of the levels. So I did Siren, and that's how I got Siren now. But that's only because of my depression. Most game designers would recommend not doing this like at all. The music you're listening to is from Vacant 1. It's not from Vacant 2. I'm just putting it in there because for whatever reason, whenever I move the camera, it creates this weird sound on the audio. So I just did music to cover that up. So anyway, this is X's apartment finished. Here's the elevator. Here's some elevators, and then I can walk in. Again, don't have the nav mesh all figured out because we'll save that to later. And yeah, we just do like a little walk around, you know, show you all the models I've done for this, and I think it turned out pretty nice. There's some things that still aren't done, like the photos here. Like you see photo, there's no photos there, so I need to put that in. And a bunch of other stuff. Like if I need to make this door, these doors is a place, so I need to be able to make that like actually like open and close. But yeah, I also really like the way Siren's model kind of came out. I did use a base for the models just to make time go faster because if I did every single model by myself, it would take me forever. So this is a base that I edited a whole lot. And then did texturing too, and as you can see, she doesn't have a leg anymore. In the original, she had two legs. This one, she has a prosthetic leg. I just did that because I'm trying to get a lot of diversity into Vacant, and I was looking at my cast and realized I didn't really have. I had like mostly able-bodied characters. Like there were some people with like mental disabilities, but nothing with like physical. So I thought, you know what? Kind of cool, and I was kind of inspired by Overwatch because a lot of Overwatch characters have like robotic arms, like prosthetic stuff. I think that's just really cool. Like I love how Junkrat has one prosthetic leg to make him like. I just really like that. And I was like, that is really neat because you don't see that very often. So I decided, you know what, I will do one, and I was gonna do like a robot leg, but I was like, I kind of like the shape of these, like this kind of foot. That and their legs are kind of based off of this aesthetic in a way, so it's kind of like a nice nod to my original inspiration. But anyway, this is this room. I'm sorry that the quality of the game doesn't look all that great when I play it in the Unity engine. I don't know what happened to where it's all jaggedy, and it doesn't normally do that, which is really weird. But when I build and run the game, it looks amazing. It looks fantastic. It runs in 60. Look at my head. Ugh, as I said that. God, it just feels like it's gonna explode. It feels like all my sinuses like got stuck like right at my brow and like won't leave. Might have to go eat some spicy food or something just to kind of get it out and running. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, it runs at a very smooth 60 frames per second. So everything looks like really awesome, like amazing, which is really nice because in the first one, I had frame rate issues because I just didn't know what I was doing, and I kept putting in models from the asset store because I used some assets in Vacant 1, and those assets weren't great, and they put down the frame rate really low, and I didn't really realize that until I went to this game. So here's this level. So Why don't I go ahead and go to the next level for you guys, and I will be back for that. All right, we're back on to the next scene. So let me start and give you guys a bit of tutorial. I can't really say what this is, what like specific scene it is. I don't think I can't really tell you because it's kind of, it feels like it'll be a spoiler kind of. So I won't say what it is. Basically, we're here and then we go out. It kind of says what it is, like on the internet, kind of. But I won't say too much. So this, I like the way this turned out a lot. This turned out really cool. You can move this ball, which I was like very excited about. It's very easy to do. Did I get stuck? Because no, I didn't. Hey, you guys, you can actually run. Oh, I'm back. I put the characters back to being Kane. Oh well, it's not a big deal. So let's go this way. Show this part over here. So I actually don't like the way this parking lot really looks. I mean, it's okay, but I don't know, something about it. Like I just think that the terrain tool in Unity isn't great. It makes everything look very saturated, and so yeah, which I don't like, because in Unreal the terrain tool is very useful, but here it's just saturated as hell. Like look at it, it's just so gray. Which I don't know. It's something about this part that I don't think looks as good as everything else. But oh well. I mean, everything else looks really good, especially this part right here. Which I can't say a whole lot about any additional information on this. Yeah, I can't really. So this one's gonna be a short one. Sorry to hear. Sorry to say, I mean, not here. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Alright, and now we're on to the last scene that I'm going to show you today, because the other one's not done. This is Hayes' ship, which I can actually tell you all about because it's not a spoiler, because it's in the comic books. So yeah, this is like my favorite level so far, just because it is from the comic books, and I think that's fucking awesome. I'm so like excited to see like all the comic book stuff like make it into the game. Hold on, I'm actually gonna check my roof. Professionalism. So I'm really excited about this one, and the geek in me is kind of exploding. There are things that are different about the ship that I've updated, because I realized that when I was like putting together like the paper mapping for this level, I realized that like some things didn't really look all great in like a video game standpoint, so I had to change a few things. But other than that, like everything's pretty much the same. Like one thing that did change was that like this right here, I think this was like this kitchen thing was not there originally, and then I think the table chairs were like wood originally, but it changed into red because it just looks better. I changed the control. God, my head again. I changed the control room because I just wanted to make it look a little bit better. So I got it to look like this. And then, let me see, the bathroom's pretty much the same. The bedrooms are a little bit different. I changed the dressers and the kind of computer that they have in their rooms. This is Jade's room in here. Jade's the main character of Vacant 1. So I tried to get it kind of look like something she would have in her room. Down here is Area A's room. This is all girly because Area is girly. And then Jean's on this side, but you can't really see him because you can't turn the camera. I don't know. Turning the camera might be in episode 2 because I don't know how to do it for this one. And then here's Hayes' room, which is like the most undecorated because I thought that was supposed to do with his character, because I can imagine that Hayes just not really seeing the point of decorating your room. This is the infirmary right here, which is not interesting from this angle, but whatever. And then here's the really tiny conference room that they can. It's like that one scene from Attack of the Tomatoes where they can't really fit in like the conference table. It's kind of like that. Because as a joke, the basically the world of the game, the world of Vacant 2 has suffered a economic crisis about like 100 years prior to the events that have been here. And like, of course, by this point, like most people have kind of come back from that huge crisis. However, there's still like budget cuts. So I had budget cuts for the ships. So everybody's room is very small. You can only, like, from a level design standpoint, from a game design standpoint, this sucks because you can only really see 1 or 2 characters at a time. But that's kind of part of the joke, especially since like the rest of the levels are pretty big and like you can see like more than one character. But here, like if I was gonna talk to a character, like you might be able to see, like if this was Reed standing here, like you might be able to see Reed and then Siren and that's it. It's just like good from a level design standpoint. But I think it's funny, so screw you. But yeah, here's the prison area that Siren's in at the beginning. And then yeah, like more rooms should look more so like this. Even this is kind of small living room, but like to where you can see like everything really well. But I didn't do that because I was like, it'd be hilarious if you literally were like standing on the bed. Like that's also why they have their beds like not above ground but like a level with the ground. That way if they have to store stuff, they can just position it on beds without like it affecting anything, so they can like turn it to a storage room if they need to, because the space is so small. But even then, the ships are still huge. I mean, this has 3 levels, this ship. So just imagine like how huge this thing would be, and like in a level. Like imagine me trying to like make a model that would fit all these levels and then put that in like a warehouse, which sometimes happens. Like sometimes you'll see the ship in the game and it's like trying to imagine how gigantic this model would be. So it's really, really big as far as like modeling goes, but like very small in comparison to the games like Mass Effect. Like Mass Effect has like gigantic, like 7 levels and each one's gigantic, but this one's like just like they can only spend so much money on those ships, and so Orphan was like, time for you guys to sleep on top of each other, because that'll be exciting. And like for level, because I'm doing level 2 for this level, I'm doing like the level that's underneath this one right here, and like there's just like a small like bunker room with beds that are just like on top of each other in case they like overpopulate, and like so they have like people in this small compartment for if like they have nowhere to go. So these like ships aren't really even intended for like SOS stuff, like saving people from planets, because sometimes they have to rescue like a group of people from a planet. Like they're not, this specific ship is not designed for that because there's just no rooms, and it's more so just for small teams. Like Hayes' team is, Hayes' team is Hayes, Jean, Adam, Arie, and Jade. So like 5 people, like 5 to 6 people at max, and no more. Like he just typically goes with Jean. So it's typically like a 3-man team because Arie is always on the ship. She's the nurse, so Arie is always over here, always here. So it's usually 3 people, so that's why it's so tiny. But yeah, yeah. I don't know what more to say. My head feels like it's gonna explode still. So I guess this is it for the devlog blog of number 2. Not a whole lot more informative things to say about it. I'm gonna try to get some more work done today, but at the same time, I'm not feeling well, and I'm running out of energy because I don't feel well. Working with depression really sucks because if there's any like hiccup, like I'm sick. Even though I'm not even that sick, like my head hurts really bad, but I'm not that sick. That's just enough to soak up just enough energy that I can't do anything that day, and it's just terrible. So, and once my energy zapped, I can't do much of anything. Because people are always like, you work too hard, you work all the time. I do work a lot, but it's majority me being like, what can I do today? I can make a couch, I make a couch that day, and that's just how I get shit done. That's the only way I get things done. Because if you do one small thing a day, sooner or later it'll be done. Sooner or later. And if you got too much anxiety, like a lot of people have too much anxiety to do models, like the human models, because they're like, oh, it's gonna look bad, then don't do the human model. If you think you can do a book, like you can just model a book, make that book that day. And then the next day go, well, do I have enough self-esteem to make a bed? And then you keep doing that until suddenly the whole place is populated and you're like, hey, I made this entire thing. Because if you sit there and you go, oh my god, I gotta do all this stuff and I'm not gonna be able to do it and no one's gonna buy my game, and no, you're not gonna get anything done because you're just gonna obsess about that. So do something very small that you say to yourself, I know I can get that done in a specific amount of time, even if it's literally a piece of paper. Like if you make a piece of paper in a game, or if you do gray boxing, or if you do prototyping. If you just did prototypes, then that's something. Or if you just did a paper map that day, that's something. It's better to think like that than to think on a huge scope. Anyway, that's enough for my pep talk. I think I'm going to end this here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And there'll be more devlogs in the future, whenever I feel better. Hello guys, if you like this video, please consider checking out my game Vacant. It's free right now off of itch.io and early access. I would really love to hear you guys' feedback and comments and all that jazz. The link will be in the description if you want to see more.